Officially, ladies and gentlemen, the circus has arrived in town. You know what? 50 Cent is a ringmaster. He is a master of clapbacks, the lord of pettiness, and the person who can make a simple side-eye into a major headline. It wasn't just Instagram teasing this time, though. No. 10 separate unsteady iPhone perspectives captured the live broadcast of flesh, blood, and rage. Imagine the moment. Blocking Captain Remy Ma's once loyal protege is simple, not spinning bars, not dropping heat, but dropping her while standing in the middle of the stage. You're correct. He humiliates Remy Ma in the most brutal manner imaginable, by dumping her in front of a shocked audience. And 50 Cent came in like a grenade of legs before the audience had a chance to blink, before the hashtags had a chance to become popular. Why would Eazy do this kind of stunt? Why, in front of thousands? Would 50 lose control? What does the story, above all, tell us about loyalty, treachery, and the deteriorating basis of hip-hop's so-called power couples? Because this is more than simply drama, pay attention. The receipts are with us, and this is scorched earth chaos. Scandals don't arise spontaneously. After brewing and simmering, they burst at the ideal moment. That's precisely what happened when Eazy the Block Captain publicly dumped Remy Ma, and chose to play kamikaze with his own career, not in secret, not in a silent direct message, and not in some nebulous subconscious bar. No. Where shame flourishes, he did it. Cameras capturing every smirk, every gasp, every cringe in front of a live crowd under the stage lights. In order to see why this explosion rocked the hip-hop industry, let's travel back in time and examine the chaotic backstory. Eazy wasn't a random startup. He had been Remy's project, her pick. When the battle rap community questioned whether the rookie deserved a slot, she almost carried him on her back, co-signed him, and defended him. Give it some thought, a great who has been through a lot of hardship, Remy Ma. Taking on a younger talent, that's loyalty, or, depending on your point of view, that is stupidity. Long before this evening, there were rumors circulating. There was no denying the picture that the whispers created. Eazy and Remy had more than simply a business relationship. There were hints that it was too personal. Some said they couldn't be separated. According to others, she was jeopardizing her marriage to papoose for him. Was it ever verified by her? Naturally not. Denial isn't a defense in gossip culture. Rather, it's a source of energy. As well as each time Remy recommended Eazy, the rumors increased each time she brought his name into the public eye. So it wasn't just betrayal when Eazy stepped in front of everyone and abandoned her like a characterless Netflix villain. Her credibility was completely destroyed in a live-action film. The crowd saw more than simply a man turn away a woman. A pupil publicly humiliated his teacher. A protege severed his relationship with his mentor. And a potential lover embarrassed his partner. It's an Armageddon for reputation, not just drama. Next up was 50 Cent, the wild card. You never really know what part he'll play in a scandal, which is a problem with 50. He is the one who pulls strings behind the scenes at times, from the sidelines. He is a commentator at times. He is also the nuclear weapon on occasion, such as tonight. He didn't merely respond, witnesses swear. He exploded. The words of the second EY struck home. A change in the 50's face was visible. Gone is that trademark smile, replaced with the kind of rage that causes security personnel to perspire. You could hear the tension in the room snapping. According to insiders, Eazy remarked, "It was like watching a bomb detonate in slow motion." Boom. Then gasps from the crowd. 50 got to their feet and rushed to the stage. Another said they witnessed Remy herself pause, unable to decide between fear and shock, knowing she was going to lose control of the story. The scene then changed from being embarrassing to becoming momentous. To be clear, this is not the first time that Remy has encountered pandemonium. She managed to withstand jail time, public feuds, and industry politics. But this wasn't an outside assault. Someone she had worked so hard to build was betraying her. Eazy's dumping in public was more than just a rejection. A message was conveyed. You are no longer needed by me. And that's the kind of disrespect that wounds, not just stings. In hip-hop, there was no time wasted on the internet. Twitter was inundated with memes within minutes, with footage going viral with titles like Eazy ends Remy live, and 50 is about to end two careers at once. Reaction edits were a huge hit on TikTok, and shaky backstage leaks on Instagram depict security attempting to keep 50 people back. It didn't matter if the video was authentic or simply carefully produced, the perception was straightforward, and perception is power. 50 was not going to overlook the fact that Eazy had made Remy feel degraded. This is a crucial question, though. How come Eazy would do this? For what reason would you ruin your own career with such a stunt? There were theories from fake insiders. According to some, he was sick of being perceived as Remy's shadow. Others said he intended to use the most harsh means to demonstrate his independence. Additionally, There was the most outrageous rumor that Eazy had uncovered something significant and scandalous about Remy. And this was how he conveyed a message without overtly speaking. Dubious blogs began to post leaked texts, were the screenshots of Eazy telling a friend, "I can't be tied to her anymore. She's bad for me. Watch what I do next." Real? Probably not. But in the world of celebrity rumors, false receipts spread more quickly than the truth, and each new leak only fueled the flames. Remy Ma stood in the middle of it all, humiliated, betrayed, and obviously regardless of how she felt, the damage was done. The second 50 Cent exploded. The story changed from Eazy humiliating Remy to 50 stepping into the chaos and dragging it into a whole new dimension. Witnesses said he yelled at Eazy, pointing fingers and threatening consequences. Some even said he shoved security aside to get closer, while others insisted he only screamed, his words drowned out by the chaos of the crowd. It's never just about the moment when 50 Cent gets involved in a scandal. It's about control, power, and dominance. Fans immediately began to argue, was he defending Remy? Was he upholding hip-hop's code of loyalty? Or was he just using the chaos to reaffirm his position as the culture's ultimate chaos conductor? One thing is certain, though, the energy in that room was radioactive. People weren't just watching a beef, they were watching careers fall apart, alliances fall apart, and a legend reaffirms his dominance in the most brutal way possible. So, what actually took place backstage after 50 Cent exploded on Eazy? That's the million-dollar question. The responses vary depending on which leak source you believe, ranging from angry exchanges to actual violent altercations. One insider told a gossip blog, 3 security guards had to hold back 50. He was primed to strike. He's never been so angry since the days of the jar roll. According to another purported witness, Remy Ma herself attempted to intervene, shouting at the two men and pleading with them to stop before things got out of control. The most sensational version then surfaced. An alleged voice memo leak in which a man who sounded suspiciously like he was 50 years old yelled, "You don't disrespect her in front of me. I'll bury your career myself." Was this a real incident? Not likely. However, did fans think it was true? Yes, of course. Even while social media was already ablaze, the backstage disclosures added fuel to the fire. There were miles of Twitter threads with people analyzing videos, and pictures are fuzzy and slow down frame by frame, as if they were from the Zapruder movie. See how 50's arm is snatching Eazy's hoodie. Stop at a 1-4. Remy's tears are visible to you without a doubt. Papoose is entering. Hold on. Why is he grinning? You heard correctly. Yes. All of a sudden, Papoose was also mentioned. No clear footage confirmed it. But so what? The rumor was enough to trigger a frenzy on the internet. Should that be accurate? Remy's husband had observed her humiliation first and then addressed Eazy on her behalf, a recipe for a viral collapse. This caused the blogosphere to go into overdrive. The headline cried out, "Backstage, a brawl breaks out after Eazy dumps Remy." Did Papoose have a role? Leaked audio. 50 says Eazy's career is over. Remy Ma was caught in the midst of 50 and Eazy's violent feud. No one could stop the story from escalating out of control. At the same time, fans were using the turmoil as a weapon rather than just ingesting it. All across the place, memes went viral. "When your side project side-eyes you on stage" was the caption of one of the viral posts, which had Remy appearing astonished. Another featured a career that was easily photoshopped into a garbage can. Then came the 50 Cent memes, which featured people laughing, shouting, and hurling chairs with the message, 50 when loyalty gets tested. However, the most hilarious memes weren't merely jokes. They themselves were incorporated into the story. The scandal was exacerbated by each inflated picture and snarky caption. The internet was suddenly rewriting history in real time, not just responding to it. Furthermore, the investigating results get crazy at this point. One dubious exclusive article claims that Remy had spent thousands of dollars on Eazy's career, studio time, advertising, and even personal grooming. She was now thinking of filing a lawsuit against him for breach of trust and emotional distress. Was there a legal justification for that? Probably. However, the dossier contained phony invoices and screenshots of purported contracts that had Remy's signature obscured. Did they exist? Naturally not. A hazy screenshot, however, is considered gospel in the culture of gossip. Then came the rumor that rocked the world. Eazy didn't suddenly dump Remy. He received payment. A rival label gave him a huge check to publicly embarrass Remy, knowing that it would damage her reputation and cause upheaval in the industry. According to documents one blog claimed to have, who was responsible? Old rivals from Remy's past and anonymous executives were among the hypotheses. However, the concept itself was explosive. Eazy might have been more than careless. He was a pawn. Perhaps. YouTube comment channels were ablaze, with self-described insiders claiming that this was more complicated than it seemed. This was a planned attack on Remy Ma, and 50 simply reacted, blowing up the scheme suddenly. Betrayal was not the only aspect of the scandal. It was about sabotage, industry conflict, and conspiracy. And Remy Ma remained silent the entire time. She didn't upload anything, she said nothing. Her response was not a clap. She had a reputation for having a sharp tongue and battle-tested bars, but her silence spoke more than words. Fans couldn't agree on what it signified. Some claimed that it was dignity, that she was being honorable. Others claimed it was evidence of guilt, and that she and Eazy were indeed more than professional. However, you are not protected in this game by quiet. All it does is allow others to steer the story. 50 Cent, meanwhile, took advantage of the confusion. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. He captioned a picture of a chessboard and fans went crazy. Was he requesting leniency? Was there a larger plot he was hinting at? The controversy grew with each cryptic statement, and every post was analyzed. Like a book, the mainstream media had begun to cover it by this point. They all ran with it, including the Shade Room and the Entertainment Tonight complex. Even hosts of late-night shows began making jokes about it. When 50 Cent loses control, it's bad because he usually makes everyone else lose, one person joked. Formerly left the hip-hop blogs and made its way into the world of pop culture. But the fallout was already becoming apparent in observance of the culture. Promoters began to withdraw events with ease. According to reports, one endorsement agreement disappeared instantly. And worst of all, people started to doubt Remy and Papooses' marriage. Had it landed on the rocks already? Did this controversy validate the gossip? Headlines like Remy's loyalty questioned and can her marriage survive? This are all over her blog. Each query that remained unanswered was another stab wound to her reputation. A purported text exchange between 50 and Papoose was leaked by another exclusive source. Just when you thought things couldn't get much uglier, Papoose reportedly told 50 to stay in his lane and thanked him for defending my wife. Was it for real? Very likely not real. But the fans ate up the concept of friction between 50 and Papoose like candy because it was so appealing. No one was able to stop the scandal from becoming a wild train. There was a stake in careers. Reputations were on life support, and alliances that had previously appeared impenetrable now appeared brittle and poised to disintegrate under the pressure of humiliation, treachery, and public outrage. You can tell that a scandal has progressed from amusement to outright devastation when it escalates to courtroom whispers. And that's precisely where the narrative went. Eazy, Remy Ma, and 50 Cent's names were already associated with the terms lawsuit, sabotage, and investigation by the time the stage smoke cleared and the online memes calmed down. Let's begin with Eazy, the so-called block captain, who suddenly had the appearance of a shipwrecked captain. Fake court documents that were published claimed that Remy's team was getting ready to sue him. According to the allegations, there was a violation of professional allegiance, emotional suffering, and reputational harm. How come what in the world does that mean? Nobody was aware. One thing, however, was obvious: blood was desired by Remy's people, and they planned to take it to court if they couldn't get it on stage. 50, meanwhile, wasn't merely relaxing. He had his own legal team writing documents, allegedly to scare Eazy with defamation. According to a blog post by one purported source, 50 doesn't care about the money. He just wants to drag him through the mud. Another said that 50 had already contacted prominent figures in the field to make sure Eazy's phone would never ring again. What do you know? If there's one thing 50 is known for, it's making enemies vanish, at least in terms of his career. So fans believed it. Remy, on the other hand, was in the most difficult situation. She was humiliated on the one hand and discarded in public like a prop. However, her quiet was starting to appear as though shame. She was reportedly afraid about what more Eazy may disclose if pressed. According to industry rumors, Remy allegedly possessed another video, a covert voice message, that would permanently destroy Remy and Papooses' marriage, according to one rumor. Was it for real? Not necessarily. Fans, however, were riveted to the turmoil simply because of the threat. The reaction was harsh. The sponsors withdrew, proponents pulled away. Blogs began referring to Eazy as unbookable. One promoter reportedly remarked, "If 50 is against him, nobody in this business will touch him." Period. In a matter of days, the force of one man's rage had transformed from a rising star to radioactive garbage. Not that Remy's aftermath was any softer. The headlines cried out. The judgment of Remy Ma is questioned. Was her allegiance to Eazy lethal error? According to industry rumors, she may not have been as astute as previously believed and may have allowed her emotions to interfere with her ability to see things professionally. Even worse, Fans started disparaging her marriage to Papoose. Every quiet and blank stare turned into evidence that something was amiss at home. 50, like he always does, he emerged from this incident grinning, stronger than ever and untouchable. He kept posting mysterious things on Instagram. A fuzzy image of Remy and Eazy side by side with the word checkmate written next to it, along with a caption that reads, "Coming soon." The fans loved it. He wasn't merely involved in the controversy. He was wielding it as only he could, directing, manipulating, and weaponizing it. The consequences then became more profound. Government eyes were now on the scandal, according to some blogs. For what reason? Due to the discussion containing suspicions of sabotage payouts. Do you recall that a rival label had dumped Remy with ease? Investigators were reportedly investigating it, treating it as though it were possible bribery or fraud. Just think of the feds squandering their time on a gossip-fueled feud. Even if it was ridiculous, the story went from being messy to being momentous only by virtue of the headline. Remembering the fans is also important, because the final script of this chaos was written by the audience. Even while the industry tugged strings, 50 was portrayed as the avenger of loyalty, Eazy as the ungrateful villain, and Remy as the betrayed queen in viral edits on TikTok. Arguments were heated on Twitter. Was Eazy a fool or brave? Was it Remy's own fault? Was 50 justified in defending her? Or did he overreact? Though there were differences in viewpoints, the fixation was the same. Everybody desired a part of the controversy, even if it required fundamentally falsifying the facts. As the week came to a conclusion, Eazy's career was in ruins. Remy's reputation was being questioned, and at 50, he had left more fear, louder and larger than before. This is where the sad irony lies. Scandals do more than only destroy careers. Legacy is rewritten. Eazy would never again be known for his hustle, his fights, or his bars as the person who publicly dumped Remy Ma and enraged 50 Cent. He would go down in history. Remy's comeback story, hits, and tenacity would not be what people remember about her. She would go down in history as the mentor who committed herself to the wrong undertaking and ultimately paid the price. In 50, he would once more be recalled as a ruler who always prevails, regardless of how chaotic the battlefield is, and the guy who flourishes in turmoil. That's where the devastation lies. Not all of this was a scandal. There was a change. Careers were terminated, reputations were destroyed, trust was destroyed, and the hip-hop community was reminded once more that betrayal is irreversible, loyalty is brittle. And when 50 Cent loses control, everyone else suffers greatly. The unsolved questions were therefore more burning than the answers as this drama came to an end. Was Eazy coerced into undermining Remy? Or did he act independently? Was she so loyal in defending her? Or did he simply grab another chance to control the history? And is Remy ever going to get over this humiliation? Or has the night her protege lit her on fire and 50 poured the gasoline become inextricably linked to her legacy? One thing is certain, the controversy may no longer make the news, but hip-hop's memory will always bear the wounds. At this point, the stage has become a battlefield, a protege who publicly dumped his mentor, believing he was smart, a legend who entered a state of humiliation, and a titan who, after losing his temper, eventually emerged stronger than before. This is more than simply rumors. This illustrates the nature of treachery, the cost of allegiance, and the brutal truth of what transpires when hip-hop egos clash. In public, the greater question, however, has nothing to do with 50 Cent, Remy Ma, or even Eazy. It is the culture itself that is the true question. How often will we witness clout being exchanged for loyalty? How many more will resist the hand that feeds them? And how many more explosions will it take before people realize that treachery in hip-hop costs you not just a relationship, but also your entire legacy? It is your time now. Did Eazy have a good reason to leave Remy? Or did he simply burn the only bridge that mattered? Could 50 have been defending the code? Or was he only collecting another viral headline to add to his collection? And is there any way Remy could recover from this? Or has her credibility been destroyed forever? Please share your opinions below, since I assure you that this argument will not end. The invoices are out, while the opinions are loud. The truth is buried someplace behind the confusion. If you're looking for more unvarnished analyses of the scandals that are causing a stir in society, you know where to look. Press the like button, then subscribe and enable notifications. The next scandal has already begun to develop. Are you prepared when it spills? Is the question.